Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Mighty Misfit Menagerie, or...
Yes.
Small eye.
That was a really good one for having been off for a week. Thank you, guys. Good job.
You saved them.
As you may or may not be aware, we are not putting up a traditional video tomorrow, which would be when this, I guess, Tuesday, May 11th, which would be when it would normally go up. But this video will be up the following Tuesday. And we have a few reasons for not posting last week. We had another illness in the group. I think we're a little cursed for that recently. But we're also working on this thing behind me, which you probably can't see on the YouTube because I usually crop this side. But on Twitch, you can see our table from Mark's house is now at my house. So we're going to be working on in the next week or 2 weeks, depending on how the tech side of it goes, getting us all safely back in person and with improvements for the stream and for the recording quality and everything. So thank you all for your patience as we get all of that put together. With that cat out of the bag, shall we jump into what has happened now that we've had this little gap? Yeah.
Disclaimer, you should never put cats in bags, just so you know.
See, I'm allergic. I don't know a lot about cats, but I'm going to keep a note of that.
If you put a cat in a bag and then let it out, you could use that bag to hurt Colton.
That's true.
But if you find a cat in a bag, you should let it out immediately.
Let it out immediately.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Immediately.
Especially in Arizona.
Out of bags. With that extra
this has
helpful
been Cat Facts with Mighty Misfit Menagerie.
The more you know. With that helpful educational tip out of the way, Helena, would you kindly grace us with a recap of what happened a couple weeks ago?
Yes, we had quite a heavy little episode 2 weeks ago. Lots of good role play. We had just completed the trials of a real ever heard of them? And we were almost okay. I mean, some of us are a little bit emotionally scarred, but physically good. So Valin also did them. She did all four as, I guess, a backup plan. So cool. Now she gets compounded trauma for that. And she's like, let's get the book and go. And we're like, yes, let's do that. So we go into the vault room. There's we learned a new word that I've already forgotten, how her body was the pillar. Nobody remembers that? Okay, well, we did learn that word. We immediately forgot it.
Yeah.
I recall now. Sorry.
Yeah.
I remember talking about an after party, but I can't remember what.
Anyway, so it was beautiful in there. Book right there.
Was it Cariads?
That sounds right.
Cariatid. Yeah.
Cariatid.
Excellent word. Don't know how to spell it. I'll figure it out. So book's right there. We're like, okay, but there's another room. Should we check it out? And Valin's like, let's check it out. So we go in there. It's even colder than everything else in this fucking area of the world. In this place, there's chip, there's fucking parts of bodies sprawled everywhere, frozen. So Tempest and Valin go in. They hear the voice of the Frostmaiden herself. She's like, yeah, you want my shitty blessing? Because you're probably going to die if you want it. And we're like, no, we don't want it. Bye. And nobody else heard this. So we leave. We get the book and we skedaddle. We head back to the harbor. Angajuke's there. Perfect transportation. We bloop. As we're leaving, there's a shriek in the distance, and we're like, is that goodbye or damn you for stealing my book? We don't know. But we're underneath. So then we're jetting back. We get back to where we were let off, and we're like, thanks, Angajuke, bye. And we decide to go back to Bryn Shander. We talk a lot about how to help Hugo. We did try feign death on him, which didn't seem to do anything. We pretty much landed on, let's see if the scroll guy has anything, / let's deal with it when it happens. So we talked a lot about that. We get back to Bryn Shander and we kind of set up for the night. Malai's like, hey, Altus, I got some kind of treasonous stuff to talk to you about. I think we should kill Hugo. And Altus is like, I disagree. So they don't do that, at least then. And then Tempest finally reads Altus's note, which was some lines of poetry. And he used the questionable word of devil in a poem that he was giving to a tiefling. So she immediately misunderstood, of course, was like, what the hell is this? What are these pretty words? And so we talked, fade to black, recapitated. ...
And that is where we find all of you. The next morning, I believe at the very end of the last one, I described you all waking up, so I won't put you through a reawakening as a strange deja vu puts you back to sleep. And we will begin with all of you already arisen, having begun the next morning. I believe
I wake up by being spat out of the wall that I melded into, because it's exactly 8 hours until the spell loses or spell goes away.
It is freezing and nearly pitch black aside from the lanterns beginning to be lit around the 10 towns.
And I'll run into the witch's teeth.
Tormund looks up from the fire and gives you a traditional grunt as he continues to get it going for the morning. The rest of you?
I come downstairs.
Yeah.
Z fell asleep, I believe, on a table in the main room. And Tempest fell asleep somewhere else that I don't believe we discussed in the last episode. Malai in the basement, in the storage room, as is his comfort.
I'm sitting next to Z, eating breakfast and reading through Finnick's spell book that I found by routing through Z's personal belongings.
Oh. Okay. So Z's gonna put a hand on it and slide it away from Molly.
What? I was reading that.
Okay, but it's not yours.
Well, yes, but I'm trying to gain a better understanding of magical theory so that in the future I'm better prepared for situations like Hugo is currently in. I would very much so like to read it. I'm highly doubtful Lynn will let me read the codicil, and that seems kind of advanced, but your Finnick was kind of a novice wizard, so I figured that would be a good place to start.
Okay, there's things called boundaries on personal space that we apparently need to talk about. Normally you ask for something before you just take it from someone.
Oh, I assumed since you were sleeping that I could borrow it. I didn't take anything else.
So he's going to close it and put it back in his bag.
All right.
I put 100 gold in front of Malai and 100 gold in front of Hugo. I say, I know you guys don't have any funds, so I wanted to give you something to get along with.
Oh.
I slide that over to Z. I would like to purchase the spell book, please.
Oh, for... All right, good luck eating the spells.
Z is going to just shake his head, get up, take his bag with him, and go to the bar and order some breakfast.
Tempest, I do not understand why...
Well, you look kind of suspicious now. You went and stole something from him, something that could have spells that could do bad stuff.
But I sat right next to him and was just reading it. I did not attempt to hide that I had taken it. Wouldn't that be stealing?
Well, but you have it already before he knew you had it.
But again, I was sitting right next to him. It's a book. Books.
While he was asleep, how would he know that you were taking it if he was asleep?
Well, I was excited to read it.
Look, I am not going to try to. I'm just trying to explain to you why people are doing the things they're doing. I'm not saying their behavior or their feelings are unreasonable. I'm just trying to help you. But I'm the last person that should be helping you with that. I'm going to go get the dogs ready. Go outside.
As you exit, Volin will enter past you. Good morning, all. I trust we are feeling rested and ready for another day. I know that I am feeling refreshed. And she is alone now. None of her usual followers at her wake.
I attempted to gain access to Finnick's spellbook and deeply offended Z again.
So, yes, we're all set. All is well.
Excellent. I believe you were missing one of your number.
Altus is going to come downstairs now. What did I miss, everybody?
Well, me and Z had a bit of a thing.
I'll ask Z about it later. Hugo, how are you feeling?
Good, cold.
Understandable. Anything out of alignment or anything?
Anything?
Hasn't moved again.
Not since the last time, no.
Well, we'll take no news as good news, I guess. All right.
Volin, taking a moment to take all of this in, turns to Malai. I don't generally like to get myself involved in all of your personal affairs. We, I think, have established that we have a business relationship. I respect all of your talents, and I believe that we can create something great together. But I may offer a word of personal advice in order to assist. I respect the search for knowledge, however it may be done, but a spell book is something personal, something that carries a lot of emotional weight. I did not meet the owner of the book to which you reference, but the passing on of something that powerful, that intimate, should be one that is done properly through a request, through a conversation, something that allows that ownership to reach its new potential.
Understood. Books have never been that up until this point.
I think that, granted your friends here are in agreement, you'll find that this one will mean something very different to you. And she pats her own spellbook that she has on a satchel around her shoulder.
In that case, do you mind while we travel instructing me without a book? Maybe I could write my own, or you could teach me from the codicil, or...
I'm happy to let you read the codicil. I have copied what I need out of it. Beyond that, though, that's a discussion for all of you to have as far as the fate of the aforementioned book.
Oh, no, I just meant if you could instruct me in magical matters while we travel.
I could see that as being part of a business arrangement. If you
I have
are
100
skilled,
gold, and I...
I am doing this out of your protection and mine. And she pushes the gold back to you. All right, is there anything else all of you need to be ready? I have a guide lined up to be meeting us at the edge of the towns.
You're not guiding us?
I am not an expert in this region. I felt that we might make more haste did we have one.
We have to stop at the scroll shop first. But I'm not there. So you say that.
While we travel, you know the side matter we're all dealing with. I'd like to visit the scroll shop.
Center than side. It's right in the chest.
That is correct, Hugo. Thank you. The scroll shop. just in case there's something we may need.
Fair. I should be ready to leave within the hour. If you all can return to me within that time, then I think we can depart.
Within the hour works for us, right?
I'm
For me.
able to leave immediately. You're the one with an errand.
Wasn't it your idea to come back here, Malay, to look for scrolls to help me?
I do not believe so.
That was Z's idea.
Oh,
Altus immediately is like, where is Z? I need help.
Can we also say we got supply, like a refreshed rations? Like I could say I pay for that or whatever.
Yeah, that's totally fine. Refreshed rations. I think that you guys still had a fair amount left, but you can definitely add to more of them.
We're not extremely over-prepared, and that makes me nervous.
Yeah, because I thought the kobolds ate a lot of the rations and then gave them to that walrus. So
Yeah, they did.
we had a lot
They had a
left.
heyday.
So, yeah, and we've got a bunch of stuff that I think we want to unload as well to get some gold. So I'd rather carry gold around than all this crap.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let me know kind of what you guys are planning to get within the town. At this point, it's been a few weeks now since the destruction, I believe. So Bryn Shander is fairly functional as a city. The goods are back to flowing as normal. That you'd be able to find any basic necessities that you'd find in any city of this size. So,
Altus is looking for a scroll of heal chest alien.
Oh, that scroll. Yeah.
is that new for Rime of the Frostmaiden? That's pretty convenient.
Oh, it's coming out in version 6.
yeah, unfortunately, north of Luskin, the parallel's going to cut in, and that style of magic is just not feasible.
Now, if it were in his leg, we got one for that,
Yeah.
but nothing for chest.
No.
I wonder if we can scare it down into the lake.
We'll just push it. You hold him down, I'll push. What scrolls? Is there anything that we might interpret as useful? I hate to be like, can we browse? But
So who is going where then? I know that Altus is going to the scroll shop.
I'll go with Altus because I feel like I have most of the money and all of the things that can be sold for money.
I'll say I get rations and dog food and those kinds of supplies.
Probably go with them since they're looking for a cure for me.
I'll go with Tempest so I can lament more about how I'm upset that I upset Z yet again.
All right. So we'll start with the healing trio then, as they head to the scroll shop. That is, I believe, if I remember correctly, directly next door to the potion shop.
I think so. Some weird set of twins own it.
Yes. And as it is still the dark morning, coming near to 8 o'clock now, the lantern outside of the shop is lit as the little gnomish man inside is wiping off the frost from the windows so people can see in to try and get some more foot traffic that he's been lacking since the attacks. Oh, good morning to all of you.
Good morning.
Spend some coin, better your lives, create more powerful illusions.
Something of the sort.
All right. And he hops off the stool that he was standing on to reach the middle of the windows and scurries back behind the counter and hops up onto another stool to stand behind it. What can I help you with?
I have a thing growing in my chest that's going to pop out and kill me in 7 days.
Huh.
We're trying to avoid the death side effects. Or really come up with any sort of solution.
Have you tried feign death?
Yeah.
I believe we have. Yeah.
And he hops off the school and jumps underneath the counter, and you see scrolls begin flying in the air as he's going through stuff and muttering to himself. Well, it's so hard to find good magic out this way. I would assume something in a deific range would work possibly better for something of this nature, but I seem to be out of anything above how to quantify magic. It's such a complex art. Above, if you were to scale it from 1 to 9, I believe I only have things of about the 3rd level and below. We've been very lax since your last visit as far as getting new shipments in. Oh, speaking of your last visit, thank you. I was repaid by the city lord.
Oh, fantastic.
Been holding us over in this time of less tourism. You know, people just aren't as big a fan of ice as they used to be.
I mean, yeah.
Yes. But if there is something that you're aware of, and it is below that quantifiable system that I just made up, then I'm sure I could find it for you at a price. We're not running a charity here.
Oh, no, of course.
Z or Hugo, is there anything that Malai was looking for? Anything I should ask about on his behalf?
So was his idea to come?
No, I'm just trying to think. If he can read spell books, he might be able to read scrolls.
Behind the counter, you just hear quietly, blink? No, that won't work. Shatter? I don't want to kill him. I was trying to avoid the death part. Rope trick? How would they ever fit inside? And he's continuing to just shuffle papers back and forth.
I feel like, based on this gentleman's very, very interesting and succinct measurement and categorization system, I feel like we all have access to magic of that level currently. So anything that he might have, we probably already can do ourselves.
Could somebody make an Arcana check and get like a hint at what to ask for? Or is that us asking you to do our job? It's hard if we don't know what spell we need, and he's not making a recommendation except for feign death.
Sir, Mr. OZ, what's his name? I don't remember.
Don't look at me.
So it's fine.
Mr. Sir, do you happen to have a clairvoyance? I believe a friend asked for clairvoyance.
He hops back from where he was looking through his chest underneath the counter and goes along the walls, which are all from floor to ceiling, these little square openings with scrolls stuffed into each of them. And you can see that they're color coded. The system is not entirely clear what they're coded to mean, but a lot of them are empty at this point. And he scrolls along a librarian's ladder, climbs all the way up to the top of one of them. Oh, clairvoyance. Yes. 3rd level. Very good for seeing things. Yes.
Why did Malai want this again?
Just wanted it.
Because in order for me to banish, I have to see it. And, very good for seeing things. It's an idea.
I mean, like we're running out of ideas, so anything.
We're making a plan. We always have plan B, but plan A is coming together swimmingly. And I mean like south of Bryn Shander swimmingly, not swimming on ice. Swimming.
He slides down the ladder to the base with a light thud on the ground.
I didn't hear an
nimble than the
acrobatics
last
check.
time that you all had seen them. And, all right, so that would be 1,000 gold pieces generally. Yes.
Ugh.
I'm sorry, Bryn. Did you say 1,000 gold pieces?
Fair for something so powerful. Okay, all right. Been good to me. You made sure that I was paid, and you did save the town, so I can give it to you at cost. Be 500. Fair? Yes?
Z counts out 500 gold.
Yeah.
500.
I'm
right.
going to give up my 100, so you can only count up 4 if you want.
I mean, sure, but I don't think you guys understand how much gold we actually have.
I don't know.
Leave it to the treasury.
So, I don't know if you want to like make us. Do we need to like go somewhere to sell stuff Coulter to get gold, or can we just hand wave that we did it?
We can hand wave it. We can convert that. I'm comfortable with that.
So if you guys are cool with selling all of the non-magical, non-useful items that we have come across.
Not my hoard. I have that on me, so you don't even have it.
No, yeah, no. And none of this is magical. None of it could be used for anything. It was all just like random crap that we found. We've got about 7,250 gold.
Wow.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
Cool.
Get that clairvoyance. Get it. Get 2.
I'm having a feeling that I shouldn't have been so quick with the discount.
I wasn't necessarily in front of. All right.
No.
I think that was Coulter saying
Yes.
maybe I shouldn't have.
No. He doesn't know how much money you have.
Okay. God, I'm trying to think of anything else we can use.
He does, he slides the 500 off the counter and just slides it, and you hear it like fall into pieces into a waiting, some sort of container behind the counter below it.
Andy.
Yes, it is.
While my friends are considering, because of the gracious discount you offered, may I offer, and I'll walk over, and can I tap the lantern and cast light on it and make it just a lot brighter than it was before?
Sure, yeah.
Cool. Lasts an hour just to brighten up around and bring some attention to the shop. Maybe get some extra foot traffic in for you.
He opens up a hand, and an illusory flame pops up in his hand and begins rotating through colors. It is hard to reach, I will say. These old eyes prefer a little bit of closer light, but I much appreciate the effort. And extinguishes it. Leaves your light going, extinguishes his own.
I'll just look at my hand and cast thaumaturgy and make a little flame. Okay.
Yes.
Um,
We understand each other, yes.
I don't know.
Point to my beard, which is literally on fire.
Now that one I haven't mastered, though I do have pieces of it that will not grow back from trying.
It's nice and warm for this climate, which it's, the past winter. So you seem to run a nice little shop here. Do you need help at all with your wares?
Do you scribe?
No. Barely strong, though.
Well, if you can cut your beard at all and it remains useful, my brother would probably be happy to find a use for it.
That's interesting. Perhaps. If I survive the next 7 days, I might come back.
Well, if you survive, we'll be happy to see you. If you do not survive, please do not come back.
Ooh.
Do I think this guy drinks at all?
It's a little hard to tell where the eccentricity is coming from.
Altus does. Altus thinks so.
Okay. Z's going to take out one of the gourds of the Fire Lake and alcohol and just put it on the counter and say thank you for the discount.
He opens it, sniffs it. His eyes go like, plug. Yes, I'll be glad to take this next door for you. Yes, thank you. My brother will greatly appreciate the gift.
Oh, sure.
We don't usually get things that we cannot identify, so I will have to do some ritual work this evening. Always little fun hobby time.
Oh, the ritual is you just take the bottom of the container and you turn it upwards.
Never put an unidentified substance into your body. Learned that one the hard way.
Yeah,
Yes, Rime?
Hugo.
I'm not there, but keep in mind that for clairvoyance, it still requires 100 gold piece focus, and we still wanted to buy that diamond for Revivify as well.
Okay. I'm assuming we can't buy the diamond here.
Well, him and his brother run the 2 shops that do that.
If you go next door, he'll be happy to help you.
I thought he was just potions.
Alchemy. Yeah, potions are the specialty, but anything you can use in alchemical uses.
Okay, then we'll go next door and buy those things.
Okay. As you exit and go over to the next door, there's a scramble and the sound of several things falling over, and walking into the alchemical shop, which is a mirror image of this one, but rather than the walls full of scrolls, the walls are full of substances, and they're much more messily tattered about, though some are clearly kept with a line between them to keep them from coming together. And a breathless small gnome in a different colored robe hops up onto a stool behind the counter. Welcome. I heard from my brother that you were here. Thank you very much for this gourd. And he pulls it out from underneath. Yes.
Of course.
Of course.
He's going to identify it for me tonight, so I don't have to do anything to it.
I mean,
I hope it's not another attempt to kill us. That's happened on more than one occasion.
No, it's pretty tasty. It burns a little bit, but it's good.
Never put an unknown substance in your body. Learn that one the hard way.
Absolutely not. Never.
What are you looking for?
We're looking for a spellcasting focus for a scroll that we picked up from your brother. And we're also looking for a diamond to use as a focus for another spell as well.
Is it spellcasting focus and a diamond?
It has to be a glass eye specifically for clairvoyance.
He reaches under the counter and pulls out this wicker basket and sets it down, and it kind of jingles and jangles as he sets it. And you can see inside of it are just this pile of bubbles and spell casting components. And there's like little like holy shapes. There's all sorts of things just kind of stuck into this. Well, you go through that and I'll see what I can do about finding you a diamond. And he hops off.
And to be clear, it doesn't have to be a 300 gold piece diamond. It has to be 300 gold piece of diamonds.
Got it. Excellent.
So as long as it's 300 gold pieces worth of diamonds. But keep in mind, it does get used up by the spell, so we might want to buy more than 300 if we want to use it more than once. I don't know. I'm going through spell components while I wait for my turn. Sorry.
He scuttles over to one of the bottom shelves that's over next to the wall, where there's this pile of what looks like rotted moss and earth. And he reaches over to the bottom of it, and it's pulled up to actually be a lid. And underneath, there's an entire shelf of gemstones of various sizes, colors, and cuts. Well, if you find what you're looking for in there, let me know which of these you want.
Let's say, I don't know, 3 sets of 300 gold piece worth of diamonds.
He takes a sack out of his pocket and puts his hand at the edge and slides the entire diamond section into the sack. All right. That should be 900.
Okay.
And the glass eyes are towards the bottom. They tend to shuffle through. Slippery little suckers.
I'll dig through and pick a couple out. I'll test any of these. Which one's your favorite?
I feel any with a red glow might be fitting for Hugo.
And I clap him on the shoulder. Ha! I agree.
I'll pick one that has like a little reddish sheen to it.
There's several of them that look like human eyes, a few that look reptilian, and one fox eye with a red-orange glow to it.
That's the one. That right there.
Right. Excellent. So if you're going with the 1 there in the 9 here, that'll be 1,000 gold pieces.
I will count it out and slide it to him across the counter.
Oh, my brother said you were tough negotiators. Apparently not. He slides it all off into another waiting clink, 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 clink as it disappears.
I mean, I can't negotiate if it needs to be worth that much money.
Well, if there's anything else I can help you with?
I don't think we need components for anything else, do we?
Do we need any potions or anything? Just in case?
I feel like we've got a decent amount of healing magic, right?
We do, but if we want to save spell slots, we can always buy healing potions.
Or if like we're all expended and like some healers are incapacitated, maybe?
How many? Okay, so if we do healing potions, how many do we want to buy?
How many do you have to sell, Mr. Sir's brother?
Mr. Sir.
I have
Sir, Mister.
4 of the base, 3 of the greater. And I can make more, but, it takes time to do these things. I can't just have them willy-nilly waiting about.
How much are the greater worth?
The greater are worth an indeterminate amount. I would be happy to give you 2 of the lesser as take it as a deal for the amount of money that you've spent between my brother and I. The greater potions are something that I hold dear, and I cannot give those away for free. But I can give them away for an amount that I will tell you is 100 gold pieces each. I think it would be fair to give you a discount, so 75 is fair with everything else you're spending. And I believe that your compatriot has a comment.
I'm not there again, but you guys want some advice on what might be more useful than healing potions?
Sure.
So uncommon potions, so the cheapest ones, potions of resistance for cold damage, since we're going up against a bunch of cold creatures, and then potions of growth for Tempest, since that has been so effective in dealing damage. Those both might increase our odds in battle better than just a healing potion per se.
Okay, so let's do... does he have either of those potions? Resistance for cold damage or growth?
Shuffling down again and kind of moving around all these bottles that have liquids that are very close together in color, all arranged chromatically across the rainbow. He pulls out 2 short bulbous bottles. These 2 are the only growth that I have. And he kind of gets them one under his arm. And I do have 1 of the resistance to cold. It's very popular here, but it's hard to keep in stock.
So how much are those?
Why. Well, being uncommon, similar price to everything else, you're going to be looking at regular 100, 75 with your good customer discount for all you've done for us here.
Okay, so if we buy all 3 of those plus 1 of the greater healing potions and the other 2 lesser healing potion or normal healing potions, that'd be 400, right?
The normal healing potions are included in your previous order.
You said you had 4.
Yes.
You're giving us all 4.
You're right. I was giving you, okay, just take all 4. I'm getting very weary from all of this negotiation.
Well, I think Hank was saying he was offering to buy the additional 2.
Yes, yeah.
So if we're going to take those 2 growth, 1 resistance, and both greater healing potions, what are we? 75 times 5?
375.
We'll take them.
We are the highest bidder.
Clearing me out. And he wraps
Keeping
them all
you in
up
business.
for you. I have my ways. Slides more of the coins beneath the counter to jingle below. Anything else?
Does he have a potion of hill giant strength? Because that's a pretty amazing one too.
Do you happen to have
giant.
any sort of potion that will help if an alien creature bursts out of someone's chest?
No.
Okay. It was
I have
worth
to
a
say
shot.
that's not a situation that I've run into before.
You know, there's a first time for everything, and our first time was roughly a couple of weeks ago.
If you come back in 3 months, I may be able to have one developed.
Oh, well, all right. I'll see you in 3 months.
Excellent. Don't come back if it's already burst out. And
Yes, sir.
Is that
I think we're good.
okay? Upon exiting the 2 shops, as you head back to the Witch's Teat, do any of you look back?
Yeah, I would. It's too fun not to.
There is a little gnome sitting behind the counter of each shop.
Yes. We've
And-
conferred.
With that, where were Tempest and Mala going?
Just to get rations.
I did the math on the cost from the book, if that helps anyone.
The cost from the book
For
for
what?
rations and whatnot, or?
For our needs, our ration needs, and our feed needs. So for all the animals we have and each one of the party members, I included Valin because I figured we would probably pay for her rations as well. I did not include whoever the guide is because I'm assuming Valin paid him, and that's usually all you have to do with guides.
Okay, so rations. How
So
many do we?
altogether for 1 week, it would be 21 gold pieces, 3 silver, and 15 copper. So that's for a
it?
week for everybody.
Okay, so how many rations is that?
That's 1 week's worth for everyone.
So how many rations is that?
7
7 times
6
6,
plus the dogs.
It's
and then
7.
it's
Isn't it a
7
weekend?
times 9.
Isn't a
35.
week 10 days?
No, that's a 10-day. I did it based on 7 days.
So should we
Right back.
and do we know how much?
All right. So we had a brief pause there where the rations were calculated and the purchases were divvied up. And with that, does that find all of you back at the Witch's Teat?
And then just for people who care about these things, we did pick up a new axe beak off camera as well. So it brings our total of axe beaks to 4.
And there is now a month worth of rations between what was left over from the previous rations and what you have gathered from 10 towns to head out. Is there a name for the new axe beak?
Ooh, I think Hugo should name it.
Orma.
Huh?
Do you say shawarma?
Shawarma. Okay.
First thing that popped in my head.
Hey,
Sticking with the meat theme. Excellent. Well, arriving back at the Witch's Teat, Valin is still waiting for all of you inside, having finished her breakfast, reading through the codicil. I trust your business here is concluded?
We're ready.
Fantastic. I believe he'll be waiting for us by the time we get there. We're going to leave Bryn Shander along the east way and travel up past Caer Konig, where he'll meet us once we're out of sight of the towns. Seems a little bit skittish about getting too close.
Who is this guy, Berlin?
He's a member of the Elk tribe. He's one of the folk that got me up here to begin with, and I believe he is fully trustworthy, but not a particular... doesn't dislike the towns, just doesn't like to get very close to them.
I knew a good man from the Elk tribe.
Yeah, they seem to generally be tall, strapping gents, so I hope you knew him well. And she slings her bag over her shoulder. Is there anything else you guys would like to do before you leave Bryn Shander? All right.
We're ready.
All right, so heading out from Bryn Shander now, just at the beginning of the twilight, as you're seeing just the first streams of little bits of light starting to form, not quite that 10 o'clock hour that would lead you into more full light. The travel from Bryn Shander down the east way is clear and beginning to become closer to bustling, as East Haven, though it was heavily destroyed, was not leveled like some of the other communities. At the crossroads itself, all travel only seems to be going east and west. The roads leading down to Goodmead, Dugan's Hole, and up to Caer Dineval and Konig are empty. She leads you all along Lachdinashire, and you can see, after these hours of travel, coming through Caer Dineval, that it is entirely leveled aside from the keep kept up high on the hill, where there are still flames flickering in two of the windows. As
Place
you can still burning and still creepy. Continuing along the road along Lake Dinishal until you reach Caer Konig, it's much of the same. Every building in the community is flattened and rubble, and the only clear is the pathway between them, including the inn in which you all once stayed and the nature shop, completely gone.
While we're traveling, C will kind of motion to Tempest that he would like to talk to her alone for a little bit.
She's willing. Go to you.
So maybe hang back towards the back of the group while everyone goes.
So I'm on the yeah, I'm on the sled probably. So
we'll slow the sleds down.
Up. Yeah.
All right. So this morning I woke up to Molly going through Finnick's spellbook.
Yeah, he seems to have no concept that it wasn't cool.
Yeah. I mean, it's something we got to work on, but regardless, I just wanted to make sure that you were okay with me letting him have it. I know that it was hard for us to let go of Tranquil and Finnick, and getting rid of their stuff was hard as well. I know we're not really getting rid of it, but we are giving it to someone who hasn't been with us a long time, and
Finnick would have hated Molly. Probably best they didn't meet. It's hard for me to say. I don't know what he would have wanted us to do with his book. Have you looked in it? Do you think it would be dangerous to give it to him?
It means nothing to me. I can read pieces of it, but I can't use it. I agree that Finnick may have not been Molly's biggest fan, but Molly has been an extremely useful companion, and I know he means well. And I think that if Finnick were here, Finnick would want what was best for the group, and I don't think that he would want his knowledge to go to waste.
If nothing else, he would have loved someone to marvel at his genius.
Exactly. I mean, and I'm sure Malai will either marvel at the genius or figure out things that are wrong and make corrections on it. But regardless, I think it serves us better with him than just collecting dust in this bag. But I just wanted to make sure you were okay with that.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I trust your judgment in this.
Okay. Well.
So I hope it doesn't backfire.
Fingers crossed.
I punch you lightly.
I like smirk and then like rub my shoulder. I'm like, oh, God damn it. Pretend that it didn't hurt, but it really hurt. Some weakling.
Excellent.
All right. Yeah.
Excellent. As you reach the edge of Caer Konig, all of you coming back together into a single pack, and the remnants of the town left behind you as the twilight hours end and darkness begins to once again settle over 10 towns after your travel time. As you crest another ridge, you spot a dozen humanoids approaching, their cloaks flapping in the wind, sweeping down from the eastern glacier far away.
So, Lynn, are you expecting 5 guides?
Fireball ready.
Not this many, but he was always a little eccentric. And as they continue to approach, one of them waves their arms, friendly, notifying peace as he charges forward from the rest. Oh, I'm glad you made it. Took you a little bit of time to get out here. It was like 3 accents in one. Valin, I'm glad you found yourself a good traveling party. Is this all of... Oh. And as he stops to talk to Valin, scanning the rest of you, he stops on Tempest. I see you found a good traveling party indeed. And he steps forward and embraces Tempest, one of the few people you've ever seen that matches her height.
Oh, what's his name? I'm sorry.
His name is Hangar.
Hangar, I can't believe you're still alive, and yet he hasn't eaten
I
you
can't
yet.
believe you're still alive. You made it through all of those terrible towns, and they haven't taken you down into one of their own. That is fantastic to see.
They've had a rough go of it for sure. How have you guys been faring?
It hasn't been much better out here on the I cannot keep a goddamn accent tonight. I'm so sorry.
I'm loving it. I'm falling totally into it.
It hasn't been easy out here, I have to say. We've been experiencing a very rough winter, as I'm sure all of the 10 towns are seeing.
Yeah, but we're going to kill the Frostmaiden. Don't you worry.
I actually have been meaning to talk to you about that.
You want to kill her too? Makes sense.
Well, if there was a way to do it, I would be happy to help. But and he looks around at the rest of you. Tempest, are we in good company? I am not familiar with most of these people.
Oh, yes. I introduce him to everybody. And when I get to Altus, I go, and this is my friend. This is Altus.
He takes out a hand and shakes your hand, Altus. And it's one of those like bone-crushing handshakes. A new friend. Is that right? Is this little one treating you well? Yeah.
Yes, we're all being treated well.
Right, all right. No need to be defensive.
Okay.
What I meant to tell you is if we're all here in confidence and nobody here is going to be, reporting to the Frostmaiden,
We just stole from her.
I had a vision about a week ago regarding you, and I was worried that I would not see you in time to pass it on. But there were tigers with ice in their veins, and they came to attempt to spill your blood upon the snow, and they did everything in their power to keep you from finding whatever the Frostmaiden has preserved under the ice. I have to say that it left me chilled to think of anything befalling you. And I know that given your immense strength and ability, it would have to be something incredibly powerful to be able to injure you as such.
Well, we've definitely been through a lot. As you can see, Quill is no longer with us. Maybe that's what you saw a hint of? That
is possible. I was very fond of your brother. That is a shame to hear. I just assumed that he was with perhaps another hunting party. I'm so sorry to hear of your loss.
He died a hero.
Was that the fate of the grumpy old one as well, then?
Yeah, he also died a pretty heroic death.
Well, he claps his arm to his chest. Then we will honor them with our mission. We will make sure that they did not die in vain, and we will bring this horrid winter to an end. And there's a huzzah that comes up from the other elk tribesmen behind him, hearing all of this. Valin here has told us what you are going to attempt to do, and we are in favor of doing whatever we can to make sure you are able to achieve it. We know where the waterfall is on the glacier itself, and we'll make sure that you all get there safely. And as far as we can take you, we will.
Thank you, Angar.
And perhaps we can talk more about anything in your life that I may have missed. And he kind of leans in a little bit towards Tempest so as not to be overheard by the entire party. I would never mind picking up where we left off. But if it's not a good time, we can discuss it.
Malai leans into Hugo and goes, "There are social norms that I am missing here."
I think those two used to mate.
What? And she's being so friendly in front of Altus?
Z is like between like tears of laughter and like horrible embarrassment.
This is just beside himself, still hearing the stuttered friend introduction.
I sidle up to Altus, holding a potion of growth, and I go, "You'll need this for the inevitable mating battle between you and him. Take it.
Did you say mating?
Smack Molly in the back of the head. Don't start things.
He said it to where only Altus would hear it.
Okay.
Well, as Hangar laughs at basically anything Tempest says, and claps her hard on the shoulder, another, warrior gesture between the two of them.
Talking about the ice troll.
Yes. Both of them making these broad ice troll gestures. I've never seen one that size. They don't get that big over on this side of the glaciers.
And then this guy, I point to Molly, he made me huge, so I was just as big as the troll. And my axe got bigger too.
I would give my right arm to see this battle, I must say.
Well, the luck we're having, I'm sure we'll run into something we need to kill.
See this battle or see that butt?
Well, if your luck has not changed from when we traveled together, then I'm sure you're not mistaken. And
that's not even mentioning the even larger Yeti we fought directly after.
I feel kind of bad about the Yeti.
Metal Man, you have to tell me about what happened with this Yeti. And he wraps an arm around Malai as you all begin to enter off into the tundra as the dark collects around all of you. Their band is made up of a pretty diverse group of warriors, and it's clear that the Elk tribe, being one of the more welcoming of the groups, has picked up folks that have been lost and taken them in on their own. The Hangar himself is, as I said, about Tempest height, around, I believe Tempest is around 6'2", if I'm not mistaken. So
Malai in his armor is a little bit taller than Hangar.
Yes, and he will be excited about meeting a metal man that is much bigger than he expected metal to ever be. And he can walk. Oh,
he's going to be so surprised to see Malai's real body.
These cultures can do. And the muscular great warrior mounts again his own axe-beak as they begin to guide you off into the darkening tundra. He tells you on the journey here that they have a waypoint that's about halfway there that you should be coming upon by the next day. That'll be the place where they know to change direction in order to make it safely through the caves. But from here, they're guiding you along another frozen river that comes up from Lake Dinishir, where the water would flow down from the spine of the world as it heads towards the glacier itself. About 6 more hours into the travel, we are about halfway to the Waystone. If all of you would like to rest before we continue in the morning. I don't believe there are dangers this far from the glacier, but I think it is always better to be prepared for the first. Yes.
Also, if you were able to find any kind of solution, we should probably attempt it on Hugo now as opposed to continuing.
Well, do what you must, and we will begin setting up the camp for the night.
Well,
and they begin setting up the tents and getting all of the axe beaks staked and set around them, and a fire going in the darkness of white in every direction.
I'll sit down with Valin and continue my long, drawn-out questions about the difference between our magic styles and magical theory and whatnot.
Being a wizard that came to it late in life, she's incredibly patient with this. It's a passion of hers to be able to discuss things like this in detail, especially if you go into learning about any of the spells that she knows.
He's not really into necromancy, but he's trying to get theory, not necessarily application, so he listens quite enthusiastically to anything she says.
And she is pleased to discuss any of the intricacies of anything that you'd like to bring her, though necromancy is a special. She's knowledgeable in other areas.
I still do not have a spell book of my own, but I'm working on one. And he shows her, like, basically a formula book that he thinks is a spell book that's still just artificer magic.
I might recommend changing up your format so that you can keep it a little more straight between your engineering and your magic.
Yes.
All right. The rest of it?
He's gonna like pretend like he's not watching this going on, but he's definitely watching this because he's judging. Not bad judging, he's judging whether or not he's gonna give Molly the spellbook now or not.
Can you show me that formula in your book again, Valin? The basic one. I just want to see. We have my formula and your spell version of it, so I was wondering if I could compare notes and see the differences.
She opens the book again. Are you referring to, and she scrolls through the different pages, are you referring to prestidigitation or mage hand, or which simple one are you looking for?
Does she have detect magic? Because I think we both have those. Or magic missile?
She does have detect magic.
Okay, so we'll start with that, because that's a basic one that we both have.
She scrolls through it and spreads it out on the floor of the tent.
Noticing Z, Molly would be like, Z, you're more than welcome to join us if you would like. We're speaking magical theory, and you are a caster as well.
I'm skulking.
Oh.
So.
I see you skulking.
Skulking.
If
Skulking by the river.
I believe you were a sorcerer, is that correct?
Me?
No,
Yes.
Z. Oh, well, I mean, I won't hold that against you.
That's fine. It's natural, some people have to study it, so.
Some people do come across it honestly, you're correct. And she
I mean, I didn't
highlights
ask for
another
it.
one of the lines.
I didn't ask for it, but sure.
I wouldn't diminish your accomplishments, Z. You've also mastered the basics of divine magic as well as arcane magic, which come naturally to you. So, I mean, compared to me and Valin, you're much more accomplished in magical studies than either of us, if you consider that nomenclature.
He's just gonna shake his head and keep watching.
What are the rest of you doing?
I'm going to flag down Tempest. And Tempest, I have an idea.
Okay.
So we got some things for some spells that I think might work for Hugo. Basically, we're going to banish this thing to a different plane of existence.
Cool. Like that.
Okay? Or
You need my help with that?
he's going to need to stay very, very still, and it's going to probably get weird. I have to cast another spell to be able to see what I'm banishing. And I don't know how that's going to look or how that's going to go just yet.
Well, it sounds really smart. I mean, I'm sure you can do it. So whatever you need to do, I'll strap him down.
Thank you. I don't know. I wanted to tell you my plan.
I hope we figured this out. I really like you. Oh.
I do too. I feel good about this. I think we have a solid plan A, and we do always have a plan B, and it's going to work. It's going to work.
Yeah. Also, you don't mind if Z gives Malai Phoenix spellbook, do you?
You
don't think, is there any reason why that would be dangerous?
Thank you for asking me. I don't think Finnick would have liked Malai at all as a person, but...
That's what I said.
Yeah, no. Not at all. He would have detested him. But, I mean, I think in the long run, it benefits you and Z and I, and overall the general, as much as he badmouthed 10 towns, still kind of was his home too. And if you kind of stretch things, it's good for the well-being of 10 towns. So I guess in the end, Finnick would probably grumble about it, but he'd be okay with it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that guy's been really powerful already. Like, I'm almost scared to unleash him on the world knowing more.
You might be right.
So, you got your tent set up already?
I hadn't gotten there yet, no.
Should we both set up our tents?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay, fine. Then I walk away and set up my tent.
I do the same.
Altis.
He's a cleric. I thought about this the last time. I was like, he's a cleric. He's gonna take slow.
All right. So with those two tents split up, are there anything that the rest of you are doing before bed?
I am casting Meld with Stone and going to sleep.
Do we see this?
Well, would we stop Hugo from doing that?
I'm going to let Hugo do what Hugo wants to do.
I mean, I'm not hiding it, so it's going to be out in the open.
So as soon as you do that, Z's going to message and be like, hey buddy, what's how we doing?
Fine. How are you?
I'm good. Why are you sleeping in the rock?
Oh, just in case the thing pops out of my chest and kills me, so it doesn't kill everyone else in their sleep.
Huh. Okay. Well, if you want like a warm rock or something on top of you so you don't get cold, like let me know.
Sure. If you can warm up some rocks for me.
I'll go put some rocks in the fire. And build like a little ring around him. And then as everyone's like getting ready for bed, I'm gonna go up to Malai. And pull out Finnick's book and like hand it to Malai.
Truly?
So yes, this is a gift. Like this is how things work. Like you ask for them or people give them to you when they feel like they can give them to you or not. I'm not upset that you wanted to read it. I was upset that you took it without asking. I think that you can probably get more out of this than anyone else in our group can. And as much as you annoy me, you've been very helpful and you've kept all of us safe. So thank you. And I hope you can learn something from this.
I will cherish it and do my best to live up to, I'm sure, what was a great and powerful reputation.
Yeah. And then I'm just going to walk away.
All right.
Trying not to cry.
Oh. I'll take a first watch.
As you come out to sit down for first watch, Hangar and a few of the other warriors are also sitting around. Oh, I see you still have a penchant for the first watch. I thought I might find you here.
Yeah, it's nice to get it out of the way.
Malai stays up for at least an hour to watch Hangar.
I don't mean to intrude, and please, I know that you've never been one to not speak your mind, but I wanted to check before I made more of a fool of myself if something was happening between you and the little man. I didn't want to step on any of your plans if there were, but if there weren't, I have to say that I've missed you from the day that we parted. I've never seen a woman with quite your strength, nor a man.
Thank you. That is a true compliment. Thank you. You flatter me, and I treasure the time we spent together. Things are weird with the little man. I don't really know what's going on, but it'd probably be best if I didn't start something else up right now.
That is fair. I can keep my distance. But I will say, if that changes, or if anything were to happen to the little man,
Oh, no.
you do know where to find me.
He has died a lot over the past 6 months. So, yeah, anything's possible. But, yeah.
Well, I will do my best to keep my distance and to guard your new loved one.
Whoa, love.
I only hope that he proves himself worthy of such a warrior.
He has come through for me many times, and vice versa, really. So the pickings in the elk tribe are still pretty slim, huh?
Have you been traveling with? Have you seen other elk tribe? I hadn't seen you since we parted before.
No, I'm just surprised you haven't been snapped up yet.
Well, I will say there is a great deal of unrest, and we have seen our numbers dwindle significantly since the tiger tribe has become more aggressive towards the rest of us. And that is partly why I agreed to help your strange wizard woman. She said that all of you might have a way to end this winter, and I think that would be the best for all of our survival, in and outside of the towns. If not for that, I fear they will take everything.
She's proven capable and true to her word so far. I do believe she wants to bring an end to this winter.
Well,
and I know we will be killing the Frostmaiden, so either way.
Hearing that gets another round of huzzas from the rest of the warriors that are still awake, and a few weaker ones from inside the close tents. Go ahead.
Bolter, from my time with Rokon, I can't remember the guy's name, the Druigar guy, the king. Do I feel like he was in any way attached to the Zardarak? Thank you.
What did you say?
Right.
Was he at all connected to the Frost Maiden in any way?
Zardarak?
Yeah.
He was connected to something else.
It was Asmodeus.
But I mean, like, I didn't see anything that might lead me to think that she had assisted him in any way or anything like that.
Not that I can think of, no. It seemed that all of the plans came from his priest.
Okay. I was just curious if I could connect Tranquil's death to the Frostmaiden.
She blames the Frostmaiden for that, for sure. And all Druigar, of course.
But, all right. Well, with so many of you taking the watch together, it is uneventful. Valin sleeps through the entirety of both watches. Are any of you coming up to take second watch? About 4 hours into this, several of the warriors wake folk in other tents to come forward to replace them.
Malai fell asleep within the first hour outside of his armor, all shivery and one-armed.
I dump you back in your tent on my way to bed.
Tempest, you know that I always have an open tent flap for you. And
all right, coming on strong, Hangar. Good night.
I would give you your own sleeping bag. I'm not proposing impropriety. And he, a little flustered, goes into his own tent and knots it up. All right. Well then, as the rest of you sleep, the night itself is uneventful, though cold, as winds pick up and snow dusts the outside of each of your tents. What passes for morning in the great north returns, punctuated by the sound of cracking stone as Hugo is freed from his spell.
Scored.
Malai,
right.
seeing Hugo, immediately goes and checks his chest for any bumps or cracks or anything.
Good morning to you too. It's too early, and I'll kind of push him away.
We have to keep monitoring the situation, Hugo.
I am, but it's early. Let me get a few hours.
I hand him food and whatever we drink in the morning.
Right. Well,
I don't know if they have coffee in D&D.
they have tea, and if you're wealthy enough, you can get coffee imported from Cholt. What are the rest of you doing as you're hearing this interchange between Malai and Hugo upon his unentombment?
Altus is waking up, complaining about how he didn't get as good of a night of sleep as he had previously, and how it was cold.
Around you can see that the Reged are actually beginning to tear down the tents already, prepping for this day of motion. Were you going to say something, Z?
Z is hurriedly looking to see if there's anyone else inside Altus's tent or inside of Tempest's tent, and then sees that there's not, and is slightly crestfallen. But they did spend the night together.
My fault.
Makes two of us, buddy.
As he sees you doing this, Z, Hangar has stepped out of his tent and stretches. Says, if it's any consolation, I was disappointed too. I assumed with how I was rejected that they had a stronger relationship than what is being presented. I'd say the little man needs to do right by her, or someone else is going to try.
Malai looks
Not
over
me.
at them.
I made promises to Tempest. I will respect boundaries.
Malai
But
looks
she's
over at
quite
them
a
and goes,
catch.
Malai looks over and goes, she does not like it when we talk about her love life.
I'm sorry.
It is her business and her business alone.
Malai, look at my chest. I think I feel something moving.
Oh, and then he walks over to look at Hugo's chest.
He leans over to Z and goes, I'm trying to forget her, but a woman that can crush a melon with her bare hands is difficult to forget. And he sighs and begins to tear down his tent.
I like half call out, like half to myself is like, so is a man. And just walk away.
He looks up at you, and there's a little bit of slyness in the...
What?
You didn't look like a melon crusher, but perhaps we should talk on the journey. And pulls the thing, and the tent just fully collapses onto the ground. As he returns to checking it.
Oh. Okay.
All right.
So he's going to go take his tent down now. All right.
Excellent. Is anybody else doing anything this morning?
Eskimo siblings.
I just get ready, take everything down.
Yeah.
Take care of the axe beaks and the dogs and stuff.
Yeah, make sure everything's good.
After getting all of that put together, everything packed back up, the journey resumes early in the morning as you continue to travel around the path of this frozen river. Pieces of it, there's ice that's cracked or missing as the power of the water underneath flows strong enough to create openings, and you can hear that distant burbling of this river beneath the ice. As you follow the wend in it, the position of the glacier shifting in your view as you take curves along it. Several hours later, well into the twilight, ahead of you, there is this bizarre rock formation lunging out of a hill of ice. And he points ahead and says, that is the waypoint up there. it is a good place to stop and get your bearings before you continue. So we will take a brief rest to ensure that we are still correct on our calculations as far as reaching the point of the glacier that we are trying to find. As you get closer and closer to it, it becomes more and more clear that whatever this waypoint they've been using doesn't quite belong. A 20-foot high, irregularly shaped spur of rock juts out of the tundra. Its smooth and shiny surface cannot possibly have been worn down by the wind. No, this protrusion looks utterly out of place, as if it had been thrust into the ground. The Regged seem to pay it not terribly much mind as they gather up their own dog sleds and axe beaks in its shadow, guarding against the wind that's coming through.
Are we approaching this thing?
This is the waypoint that they were discussing.
I was going to make a nature check to see if I know
what
it is.
Yeah, go ahead.
An 11.
You can confirm that it was not naturally formed or manually hewn.
Knowing my background and where I came from, does this look anything like anything I've seen before?
Give me a history check.
History. Well, that's not a good one.
As an artificer, is there any chance a tinker's tool roll or something like that?
Not tinker's tool, but you could do history as well.
That's a 15.
Because I'm not sure what you could tinker with. So from the 15, you can tell that this has been, this is created by magic. The way that it's smooth and the etching that's done into it. Molly, were you going to do as well?
Yeah, it's 22 for history.
There is the way that this is shaped and the sound that it makes as you tap on it. It is part of something that juts into the ground. It goes down a ways, and it's not entirely solid.
Well, whatever it is, it's not entirely solid, and it juts deep into the ground. Talking to Z.
That's
definitely not natural.
Oh, not at all.
I could attempt to further study it if you're curious.
I feel like if it's just a waypoint, it's not important. I'm just curious.
All right.
Are we staying here a time, or are we leaving immediately?
Hangar, when you had stopped here, basically let you know that they do take a break here. So they're going to be waiting here for about an hour or so, possibly more, depending on how the weather holds up.
I'd like to approach Altus, if Altus is available.
Yeah.
Altus, I mean, Hugo's complaining more and more. Is there a thought process in mind? I know I deferred to you, but maybe magical intervention, as we talked about, should be taking precautions?
Yeah, so the plan is, and I confirmed with Tempest, she agrees, clairvoyance to see the thing, and then once sight has been had, banishment, kind of a two-step process.
That could work, especially if you moved Hugo some distance away immediately after the casting. Even if the spell failed after a time, the creature would then reappear where it was, not inside of Hugo.
I'm thinking that's where everybody else comes in, is hold him down so he doesn't move so we can cast it properly. And then as soon as it's cast, some sort of signal to then get him away from wherever He was.
We should do it. I mean, why are you waiting? What's holding you back? Do you need help with the formulas?
No, I've been looking them over today and a little bit of yesterday while I couldn't sleep last night, and I think it's a solid plan.
Well, let me assist you. I'm studying 2 different styles of magic now, neither of them divine, but we can at least, I can help you with the timings.
Okay. We did acquire this, and I'm going to show you the scroll of clairvoyance. We have the eye procured, and should something horrible happen, we have the diamonds for Revivify.
Are you guys hearing that, Pika?
Yeah.
I was thinking it was mine, but when I turn my mic off, it continues, so...
It seems to have stopped now, at least.
Anyway, I think we should do this at the earliest possible opportunity, Altus. It's a solid plan. You may have saved Hugo, which I didn't think was possible.
Well, we do have to tell Hugo about it, and Z, I think, is kind of privy to the plan, but I want to make sure we're all on the same page here.
Well, Hugo, Z, could we have a team meeting? Tempest as well. Should we include Valin?
I don't think Valin wants to be included on our misadventures.
I mean, she is our client, technically.
Yeah.
What's up?
Altus has a plan, and for whatever reason, he's going to us individually as opposed to bringing everyone together, so I figured we should all just discuss it now so we can maybe enact it this evening. He hugs Hugo. You might be okay.
Oh, thanks, little one. As I hug you up because you're taller than me. What's the plan?
Well, it's kind of a two-step plan. The first is we cast a spell so I can see what's going on inside of you. And then once I can lay eyes on it, then I can banish it. Once it's been banished, we'll have to move you somewhere safe, probably from wherever you are into your rock bed. I haven't figured that one out yet, but
I could literally just physically pick him up.
That's probably.
Or I could just walk, and this is going to incapacitate me.
I don't think that it will, but to take the most pressure off of you as we can, we'll move you to a different location. Whatever is inside of you has been banished. If it comes back, it'll come back in the same place, -1 Hugo.
That sounds like it could work.
Let's do it now.
That's what I keep saying, but Altus wanted everyone's opinions first.
I'm making sure we're all in agreement. We all care about each other, and we're a team.
I agree.
Hugo,
Z.
if for some reason, I don't know how or why, if for some reason this kills you,
It'll be a fine death.
do you want to come back?
No.
You're sure?
Yes.
If you, okay.
You could all split my things.
Is there anything we need
I
to
call
do?
Mordecai.
Well, he will leave with me.
Oh no, the plan has even more risk.
You all,
I-
except for Mala, can split my things.
I start to like get behind you and start to put like my arms under your armpits. Like, okay, Alta said this was gonna get weird, but you have to be still.
I don't. Okay. Sure.
Can I cast guidance on Altus, please?
Okay,
I don't know if he needs it, but I'm gonna do it.
Explain to me what it is you are planning to do, because I've gotten pieces of this, but not the entirety.
Okay.
Paint a picture.
Need help, buddy?
I'm reading through clairvoyance to see if I can piece this together properly. When you cast a spell, you choose seeing or hearing. It'll be seeing. I can sense through the sensor as if I was in its space.
So
and you talked about clairvoyance and arcane eye. You talked about both.
I think he was just referring to the eye as the casting focus.
Yeah.
Got it.
So he's going to cast clairvoyance to potentially see the thing, and then once he understands and knows it's there, then banishment.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my other question for you is that these are both concentration spells.
Aha. But clairvoyance is... Oh, shit. I thought for sure clairvoyance wasn't a concentration spell when I looked it up, but there's that stupid C. Well, that just means you have one shot, bud. Because once you see it and you cast the other spell, the other one would stop working.
In theory, no, that wouldn't work. Damn it. I almost took banishment too. He just wouldn't do anything here.
Is arcane eye concentration as well?
Yes.
You'd have to put like an eye inside of me, right?
I say this is still one of our best shots that we've come up with.
Agreed. I think it's still worth a shot.
I trust Altus.
Because banishment is concentration to keep the effect going, and clairvoyance, and banishment just says you banish something that you can see, so at the time of the casting, he would be able to see it. So from an arcane theory perspective, it should work.
And Mala has been studying arcane theory all day.
Okay. So, tell me what you're doing, Altus.
I am gonna certainly read clairvoyance again.
As Tempest stands behind Malai, strong-arming him up into place.
Hugo, but
sorry, Hugo, and Z and Malai
So,
stand
I
by for
take
support.
the glass eye out and I place it in my line of sight towards Hugo's chest, and I kind of move it, and Hugo, your best guess, where?
Here.
Okay.
Well, here.
I let you go.
Okay. And I hold my familiar, apparently. I move the glass eye to that point on his chest, and I cast clairvoyance to try to see into my friend.
Your vision is instantly covered in darkness. And as it clears, something colorless and slimy smears across the window as it wriggles and writhes at this sudden intrusion.
I'm going
you
to.
feel it begin to struggle inside of your chest. Reacts to what's
Tighter,
happening.
tighter.
I'm going to study it and watch its movement and just stare at it, learning all I can about how it's moving and everything for a good 60 seconds. I'm focusing the shit out of it.
It doesn't seem to change location, as it doesn't have a lot of room to move around in the cavity in which it sits. But it is consistently writhing as it does this. Even through the layer, Tempest, you can feel this motion kind of shaking Hugo's body a little bit. Z and Male, as you watch on, you can see the furs just moving as this focus continues.
Okay. As I have the glass eye centered and I've got the thing in my view, I raise my right hand behind me and I go to banish it through seeing it.
Okay. All right, your vision suddenly clears as the banishment spell leaves your form. What does it look like when you cast banishment?
It's going to be my hand coming up and black slowly going into it, as I've cast spells like that before, or look kind of like that. And as I go to cast it, some of the black seems to kind of leave my hands.
All right. Hugo, make a charisma save.
No.
Guidance!
No.
You need to give it the guidance.
I already did it on Altus.
Okay. That's not terrible. 0 charisma, but it's an 18.
Aldous, what is your spell save?
14.
All right. As that reaches you and hits your body, you feel yourself almost dissolve into some sort of space as your body's jolted between reality for a split moment. And then all of the motion inside of you is gone. It's as if your lungs can expand for the first time in months.
I immediately shuffle to the side with him.
You're muted, Malai.
Okay, I'll just drop the spell and I'll magic missile is ready.
I move and I'm just watching. Glass eye still in hand.
As you drop it, there's a audible pop at the height of where Hugo's chest used to be, as this half-formed slod tadpole materializes in the air and falls into the snow with a sizzle.
Magic missile.
All right, and can I please have, what is the order in which people are standing here?
Well,
I mean,
Altus was holding it up to Hugo's chest. Tempest and Hugo moved to the left. I was standing on the other side preparing, and then I don't know where Z was.
Probably 5 feet away.
Excellent. Okay, can I please have, I lost everybody's names. Can I please have Tempest, Altus, and Malai all make dex saves?
Be me too,
Okay.
so she's holding me, yeah?
No.
Okay.
My save was a 12.
Okay.
16?
Okay.
14.
Okay. As it lunges for Altus, all 3 of the magic missiles converge on it, and the form explodes into bile all over the snow as it sizzles and begins to coagulate.
Did we do it?
Gross.
So
I put you down.
I think it worked. And I'll pick up Tempest. And then I'll
Outstanding.
go over and just kiss Altus right on the mouth. I feel like a new man.
And as you all stand there celebrating this moment, the floor drops out from under you, and you all plunge bodily into darkness.
What?
What?
And that is where we're going to end for this week. So thank you all so much for joining us for another episode of the Mighty Misfit Menagerie Does Rime with Frostmaiden, as we have finally reached a point where we found a solution to get Hugo's trouble out of his chest, if not end the trouble of the entirety of this world here. And we hope you'll join us next week when we find out what exactly the heck happened to all of them. And with that, thank you so much.
Just stop talking.
Son of a bitch.
We're not done yet.
Sparky, David, Daniel, Scott, Rio's mom, Alistair, Sean, and Johnny Mac. We appreciate you guys. We have been a little bit dragging our feet on the t-shirts, but we're getting all of those sent out. So you should be able to see a website link up for that once we're back at this table together. So with that, we wish
get in the comments and protest this
fun and natural 20s. Have a good night, everybody.
No.
Yes.
Yes.